Welcome to the Art of Rebounding, where setbacks become setups and your bounce back is your breakthrough. I'm your host, Harold Lefty Williams, former pro athlete, motivator, and believer in second chances. Each week, we will dive into stories and strategies built on positioning, persistence, and purpose to help you rise, rebuild, and reclaim your next chapter. This isn't just a podcast. It's your permission to rise again, and this time with purpose. Today's guest, I'm super excited. As always, we have former WNBA player, podcast host, and star in her own right. And she happens to be from my stomping grounds. That's right, Jersey City stand-up, all right? We also have my sis, former WNBA All-Star. That's right, All-Star. Put some respect on her name. And WNBA NBA coach, currently on air, talent MSE. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adrienne Goodson and Chasity Melvin. Super excited to have you ladies on.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, man, you already know. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. So listen, the Art of Rebounding is really about persistence. It's about positioning, all right? It's about purpose. What I'd like to do in this segment is get each of you ladies, and we'll start with you, Chasity, first. What does a rebound look like to you personally?
Rebound for me personally, like you said, persistent, but really rebound is all in. You know, you can't you can't put half effort in it. You know, now the elite talent, one arm, you can catch a rebound, but when you grab that rebound with two hands, then you control the destiny of your team, and in life, you control destiny of your life when you're all in and you go after it with two hands.
No, that's good. Now, I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to get a different answer from you than the last episode. But you got so many different, you dropped so much jewels the last time. Now, I want to know, what does a rebound look like as it pertains, I'm gonna take you left, as it pertains to these WNBA players who have worked extremely hard, right? We talking about almost 30 years. What does this look like going in to the situation? What does a rebound look like for them? And what does it take for them to get a deal done?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to get a rebound and pass the rock.
What does that mean?
Bottom line, you said get a rebound and pass the rock. When you get a rebound, you chin it, you pass it, you move the ball. That was important to me. I was, not bragging, but I will, the number one player, the number one rebounder in the world in my position at 6 foot as a guard. And so it's passion. You can teach rebounding, but rebounding is passion. You can teach defense, but defense is passion. Okay? And it's passion that built the league, and it's passion that's going to continue to drive the league. And that's what rebounding means to me.
Man, Chasity, you want to add to that?
No, it's the same thing she said, like passion and just having ability, but like you said, being in the right position. And to get the deal done, the ladies are in the best position that they can be with all the momentum that for basically NIL started for women's college basketball and how it's translated over to the WNBA. And this is the first time that college and the WNBA have partnered kind of together through not the money necessarily, but through the fan base. So the carryover from those following the Angel Reeses, the Caitlin Clarks, you know, now they're all into the WNBA. And it's made it more profitable for the brands, and now more brand exposure and partnerships. They want to continue that, and they're going to have to continue it with the WNBA. So this is the best time ever to get things done with this CBA.
Wow.
Yes.
So what do you see are some of the things that and please forgive me, I'm going to ask a rhetorical questions here. I just want to bring it out so that our listeners and our viewers can understand perspective. What do you think is some of the checkpoints? Like, hey man, we need to see this, we need to see that. What are some of those things? What do you think they are?
Well, first of all, the transition, when you compare you can't compare the WNBA, but first I want to give a big shout out to the WNBA and the new fans. This league has been around for going on 29 years, and we did this way before everyone joined, the momentum, the fandom. So it was a business that has lasted when people really negated it in the worst ways. So now, through this momentum, what we need, if you compare it to the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB, they have a legacy with those players that laid the foundation. From my perspective as a veteran, and Adrienne can speak to hers, like, our legacy can only continue if we get that pension in the WNBA. The pension for the current players and retroactive pension for the former players that had 10-plus years. Diana Taurasi, 16 years in the league. Sue Bird, 13 years, I think, or maybe 14 years. And then that's just going to go like null and void.
Right.
And you don't have that with teachers. And when the league started, we made teacher salaries. And that's no knock to teachers, because some really teachers inspired me.
No. Y'all not going to knock it. But what I'm saying is teachers don't get paid enough.
Right.
To deal with some, not all, but some bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, kids?
Look, my side hustle is subbing, so kudos to all the teachers. I get it.
Yeah, because I couldn't do it, because, you know, the kids spend more time
with the teachers
than they do with their own parents.
They do.
And so, and now let's flip it to what we're talking about today. The ladies spend more time with the team than at home, and then when you're done,
nothing to show for it. Well, I will say this. I mean, it's just like corporate and many other associations. You have the 401k plan or your optional plans, and they do match it or contribute to it, but it's really nothing that other professional leagues, in comparison to other professional leagues, I won't say nothing, because it is great, and that's what we did, some of us. But we also got hit by the 2008 recession, and then most of us retired 2 years after that. So then what we really had planned for retirement, which you don't touch until 55 or 65, there was nothing in place, you know, as far as programs or just knowing you'll have something to back you up for money you invest in post-retirement.
Right.
That transition is so challenging and difficult. So the stress of losing something you love for over 20 years since you started playing at 10, 11 years old, and then trying to find another career with the stress on trying to keep some of your assets that you may have invested in, it's just so much pressure. And just to know that there's no help out there, and then whatever you invest, if you lose your assets or you lose some money, you know, the guys in the NBA, my NFL friends, my NBA guys are doing all this stuff. They still know that pension's coming in, so they got money to look forward to that'll help them out if they make some financial mistakes.
So, I mean, here's the thing. So, I remember when I was a Globetrotter, there was no union, right? And the minute you try to form a union, you're done. You're gone. Yeah. I'm not taking any shots. I'm not shooting any shots. That's the reality of that, right? So you have to have systems in place, and you can't do it afraid, and you can't do it in hiding, right?
Right.
You have to do it on the full front, where people can see and understand. I say that to say this: what does that look like for a negotiation for the W?
Adrienne can speak to that, because she was during the 2002 CBA negotiations for the W.
Yes. I mean, I was a part of the player committee, 2002, which, you know, we were in the thick of it, you know, and we were fighting for the same things that we're fighting for now.
Wow.
Okay, that's 2002. Here we are, 23 years later. So we're tired, man. we're tired, man. We're tired. We need this revenue sharing. And I was just having a conversation with Chas on the way over. What's the problem with having a drop page on the WNBA.com? You know, allowing fans to come in and access jerseys. You know, home, away, all-star. Okay, we both all-stars. Okay, to help generate some revenue for us. You know, outside of the 401k, outside of the pension. Right. That's easy peasy. Things that could be done. If I could sit here at the table and come up with something like that, with all of the intelligence that we have, because women, we don't leave school, we stay in school. So we got a lot of intelligent women in leadership positions. So if I could come up with that idea, so can they. All right. Also, you know, I'd like to see, it's on the table, health insurance, but to what degree is that on the table?
Right.
All right.
That's yeah.
Yeah, because there's all different types of insurance. Are we going to get health insurance? We're going to get partial health insurance. We're going to get full health insurance. You know, so we don't know, and we're outside the gate because at this point, the WNBA and its players have decided to have the negotiation closed. We can't have closed doors. We need the media.
You can't win.
We can't win.
Not at the level that you wanted behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
You know, are you hopeful?
I love this new generation of players. I love the evolution of the game across the board. But there is a lack of sense of the playership as a whole. I think with this younger challenge is me, pay me more money, pay me more money. And I coach college. It's similar to the same things now. Players don't really understand something until you go through it.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's like to have an injury until you have one. You can tell everybody, hey, I got your back, you're going to get back, but you never know what that player's truly dealing with. And you can never be in someone's shoes until you're in those shoes.
Right, right.
I don't think the players understand that. Goody and I were part of teams that folded. Now Cleveland's coming back. How many years later? Cleveland Rockers folded, but now, fortunately, their team's coming back. Houston, who were like the Lakers of the WNBA, folded and should be one of the teams you bring back because they have 5 championships. Like, they were the cornerstone of the WNBA.
Yes.
I don't think that's a reality for younger players. Like, they're like, oh, this is not going to happen now. Just pay us more money. These teams are going to last forever.
Right,
and
right.
that's not the case, and that's why I feel like they do need our voice, but like she said, we're locked out of that. We have to depend on those players now with the WPVA union.
That they go in and get a deal done with you guys also in mind.
With us also in mind. Like Chris Paul did some really fantastic things for the former players, like because he understood, like he listened to their stories. They're just like, oh, it's about us now, kind of, and we really need to be on the same page. And it's not like we're asking for a lot, and we deserve it. And not only that, there's the money out there and the resources to get everything done that we need.
Well, what I like to see, because some players are mothers, and I know a WNBA player, former WNBA player, I won't mention her name, who was working out while pregnant, right?
Yeah.
You know, pregnant. And,
we've known these stories, yeah.
You know, and that story alone is remarkable. And then so you have this kid, and then you're playing overseas or this or that, whatever. Everybody's situation is different. It'd be nice to know that when the season is over, that I can relax with my family while maintaining, you know, my conditioning to just get ready for next season.
Yeah.
And so that I'm hopeful that something like that is able to happen.
I like to just elaborate on what Chasity said about Chris Paul. Chris Paul had a relationship with the former players. There is such a major disconnect between us and the former players. There's only certain former players that are allowed inside of the circle.
Got it.
So if there's former player jerseys out there, then you're only going to see those. So those are the only players that the world is going to identify with, right? So when I come to an alumni weekend and I'm watching my team play, and then a player comes out with a jersey of another player from another team that doesn't even have anything to do with our team, and I'm sitting there as a former player of that team, I'm going, well, why does she have on a jersey from a player from another team?
Right.
When this is our team, but she can't access my jersey because it's not there.
Yeah, something has to be done about
It's a disconnect. Or these former players, they'll probably, the current players will probably be able to call out a few former player names, but they wouldn't be able to run through the whole list.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Right.
Definitely not.
Right.
So if you can't identify with the people who came before you, then how in the HELLO can you fight for them?
Right. No, I mean, listen, makes total sense. I think that there has to be Diana Taurasi just retired, right?
Yeah, and I probably made a mistake. I think Diana played 20 years. Sue Bird has 16 years. So they have the most longevity in the league.
Okay.
And then again, what I like to say is that's going to be few and far in between.
But I just brought that up because I'm thinking that could be the echo of the, hey, I'm recently removed. you guys, I just was in the battle with you. I need you to fight for that. You know what I mean? Maybe that could be voice of
we
reason.
need those voices.
We need those voices.
Those voices have podcasts.
Got it.
And those voices aren't using their voices. I'm on a WNBA State of Mind. That's my podcast. I was making noise for the last 2 years about the CBA with nobody saying anything. Anything. And other players have podcasts and they say nothing because those are the players that are being taken care of.
Got it. Got it.
Or at least what some people may think.
Right.
Taken care of more so than others.
Right.
But I still don't think they are even taken care of in the way they should.
They should be.
In the way that they should be, because they are the ultimate stars of our league. The Cheryl Swoops, the Sue Birds, Candace Parkers. Like they aren't treated like, you know, the Tim Duncans.
Right.
And Grant Hills and certain people that played. And you know, there's a lot of things that need to be adjusted. But like I said, it's just the momentum of what we have now strategically. I'm heading down to WNBA All-Stars. I hope I can talk to some of the current players. I will let my voice be heard because, you know, if they don't know, they don't know.
Right.
Another thing with younger players and younger people in this generation, if you don't know what you don't know. You know, we didn't know what we didn't know coming into the league. We were happy to achieve our dream, and then later on, you know, you get cut, you start learning the business of the league, and that's for every professional athlete at a part of any organization. And then you understand the ins and outs, and you're like, oh, we have to be more strategic. We are an asset. We're not. It's not. Yeah, we have a passion.
You're an asset. You're not a liability.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I hope it gets there. I have confidence because I just have to. We have to, you know. I'm never one to – another thing I don't like about some of the current players, the way they disparage the WNBA, it really bothers me. Like, as much as this – like we talk about former players, we just want to be a part of this what we built.
Correct.
And some – like they call it sweat equity, whether it's advising, consulting on, you know, like the NBA brings former players back in different roles.
All
Not
the time.
like, oh, you don't have to make me a coach. You know,
All
we
the
can
time.
do things in the community. You can. There's
You know who does a great job of that? The Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks.
Yeah, they do. And so those are things that are applicable, but with the rise of social media, even if you're working for corporate, if I don't have my own business, you can't run up here and talk about the company you work for in a negative way.
Right.
And some players I feel like are doing that. It's just like this is your livelihood. They're giving you a platform to play.
Yep.
Because we've been on teams that have folded. When it's over, if the WNBA takes those teams away, okay, now you have unrivaled AU for like month leagues, but not like fully tiered out professional leagues for the longevity, and everybody's fighting for a spot. Like when our leagues folded, we were fighting to get overseas, where there was only 2 Americans on a team.
Yep.
So, you know, you have an opportunity to build where that was our dream. Can we play professional basketball in the States? And I think sometimes these current players kind of take advantage of that, maybe subconsciously, not consciously.
So what do you think about the female league that I believe is in Florida?
Yeah, that's unrivaled.
Yeah, what do you think of that? Is that you know,
a conflict of interest is what they're talking about?
Yeah, is that what that is?
It's tricky. You know, I've worked for a nonprofit. I've worked for another organization, and there were certain things, even with my celebrity status as a pro athlete, they told me I couldn't do because I work for this organization.
Oh, wow.
Because there's a conflict of interest. And that's why sometimes I have to step away because I'm losing my brand, not being able to do certain things. And that's also a sacrifice. You know, you got to either you want the current paycheck or you got to make decisions. And so that's been a grind. So do I think as far as corporate goes, is there a little bit of conflict of interest? I'm not sure. I think it's a great thing for Fee and Stewie to create a league. But if you put it in the realm of, okay, this could kind of be like a G League for the WNBA, another league that gave me the opportunity to get head coaching experience is Athletes Unlimited. Okay. They have a monthly league. They played in Nashville last season for a month, and they house the players. So it gives players an opportunity not to have to go overseas. No one said that was a conflict of interest. So I don't think it really competes with the WNBA on the level and the platform that they can provide opportunities for professional athletes. But you never know what happens down the line.
So we're going to wrap this up shortly, but with this new arrival into the league with Caitlin, right? With Juju, like
Right on her heels.
right on the heels. Is this enough to launch it, to pour gasoline on it, to make it, where it needs to be, big, even bigger than what it's grown into, for it to be able to
Oh, yes.
justify these things that you're talking about on the back end for the former players?
Yeah, no, it was there 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
No, it really was there 10 years ago. We had our issue, and that's with any professional league. That's with Unrivaled right now. That's with AU. Where are you going to show our games? The media.
Right.
All right, if you can't watch WNBA games on television, it doesn't help anybody.
Right.
And that was our problem. We had fans. We've always had fans.
Yes.
Like the diehard fans of when I played in Cleveland's going to have a sold-out crowd when that team re-erupts in 2028.
Oh, wow.
Because we had wonderful crowds in Cleveland. When you played in Portland, there were Houston.
Crowds.
Houston was sold out when Cheryl and them were playing. So we haven't had a problem with fans, but just like in the NBA, fans don't make the money.
Yeah.
The sponsorships deals make the money and pay the dollars, and that's what we could never merge. That's what we can never get. And so I think it's phenomenal with NIL because that's boosted women's college basketball, and it's trickling over to the WNBA and the sports media. They're like, now what NIL did, and that's what people don't understand for women's basketball, it made it credible. And I'm not saying for all the men in the media that cover sports, it made it more credible for them.
Okay.
And now they're discussing it, and now it's turned what they negated before into a more positive light. And so I do think it's the time now, and I think it's very, very feasible to get what we need to get done.
So we're gonna come and switch lanes just a little bit. First of all, thank you so much because it's important, and I think that a lot of times people need to understand like what's actually at the forefront of this.
Yeah.
People need to understand why it's important to speak, why it's important to take a stand, why it's important to empathize, be empathetic with, because at some point, Father Time will catch you too, and you will be on the other side of that mountain.
Sooner than they think.
Yeah, sooner than they think, But quickly, let's do it quickly because we're running out of time. Your Avengers, your Navy SEALs, your team that you're going in to get it done, to win a championship, your 6. Who you got?
Oh, wow. You go first, Goody.
I did already yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
last
was Goody?
episode.
Can you remember
Podcast.
yours? Really quick,
Yeah.
can you remember yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I had Teresa Edwards, Dawn Staley, Medina Dixon. I had Cheryl Miller. I had Katie Smith.
Yep. That was your 5.
That was 5.
You didn't give me a 6.
That was 5. And I thought about that.
You thought about
and
it.
I said, I didn't give him 6.
All right. Okay, so my point guard is going to be Teresa Edwards.
Okay.
She was the GOAT. Okay, I mean, I hate people didn't get to see her play. She came in the league at 38 and played for Minnesota and still dropped buckets.
38 when she came in the league?
She might have been 40, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not
she
even
was 40.
She was 40.
Wow.
And will give you 40.
Easy. She was the Kobe Bryant. I had the opportunity to play with her before the ABL folded in the Philadelphia Rage. I was a rookie. I was so scared and intimidated by her.
Wow.
Like, just dripping with sweat. And, like, the things she did on the court, she made it look so easy, but she was working so hard. So, Teresa Edwards is my point guard. Cynthia Cooper is my 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Coop's my 2 guard. And I'm going to put Diana Taurasi at 3.
Okay.
Katrina McClain at 5. And my 4 player, I'm going to have to go Lauren Jackson.
Whoa. Okay. I mean, listen, that's...
And we're going to win it all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Listen, that is one thing that I do not debate about with my guest.
My sixth man is
that-
Cheryl Swoops.
Oh yeah, you
Sixth woman. Yeah,
You-
My six, I had
can't go wrong with
Cynthia,
that.
I had Coop in there.
Oh, for your six?
Coop was in the 5.
Okay.
Katie was my 6.
Okay.
She got to light it up.
You can't go wrong with that. Listen, I'm super duper excited. One of the things that I want you to do, I want you to look into this camera. I want each of you to take 10 seconds. 10 seconds, because we got to go. 10 seconds. Someone is sitting there and they're listening to this and they're saying, man, how do I bounce back? Yeah, that sounds good, but you ladies are celebrities, you're professionals, and that's what you do. I can't relate to that. Well, talk to that young woman, that young man, you know, that brother, that sister, you know, and they're saying, well, I'm giving up, or they may have lost a job, they may have don't know in between, not know, should I go back to school? Should I do? They don't know. They need people like you to speak into their life. This is your camera. 10 seconds. I want you to speak from your heart and let them know how they can rebound.
You don't give up. You just pivot. No means just not right now sometimes. A no just means not right now. And if you aren't there yet, it's because you don't belong there quite yet. You still got to learn something. You know, God never puts us in a place until we're fully ready to excel and be the person that we need to be when we get those opportunities, because you don't want to get the opportunity and then you're not fully ready. So always keep going after. It's just part of the journey. Don't let social media fool you. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
Your turn. What you got?
That was a really good one. I mean, I don't believe in losing. I believe in lessons. You don't lose, they're lessons, all right? And you learn nothing through winning. You learn most of your things through losing, if you choose to use that word. So just keep pressing on and keep learning. It's okay. Keep your eyes fixed on God, and you're going to fly.
No, I like it. Listen, you heard it. These are some all-stars. These are some amazing, amazing women. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks
I'm
for
super
having us.
excited. I believe that it's going to get done. I just believe it's going to get done. That's it for today's episode of The Art of Rebounding. Remember, the fall isn't what defines you. It's how you rise again that writes your legacy. Whether you're rebounding from a loss, recentering your purpose, or just learning how to stand again, know this: you're not alone. You were never alone. You were made for more. You were built to bounce back. Until next time, keep showing up, keep positioning yourself, and keep pushing with purpose, because your rebound, it's not just coming, it's already in motion. Find me on all social media platforms at Lefty Williams 42. I'm always down to hear about your comebacks, how you want to rebound and all those things. Feel free. And, you know, I love hearing those things. I love hearing success stories, okay? Thank you to Circa Resort and Casino and VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Till next time, always remember, dare to dream.